Welcome back to the SAP Business AI series from Aditheos. This is episode 9, Getting Started, Prompt Engineering and Building AI on SAP BTP. This is the practical episode. Understanding SAP's AI architecture and strategy is one thing. Actually building with it is another. This episode gives you a clear sequence to follow, the setup path for SAP Generative AI Hub, the prompt engineering techniques that matter most in enterprise contexts, the prompt registry for governing prompts at scale, and how the SAP Cloud SDK for AI brings it all together in code. Let's get into it. 6 areas. The step-by-step setup path for SAP Generative AI Hub, because there are specific prerequisites that many people miss. Prompt engineering fundamentals, the 3 elements of an effective enterprise prompt. System, user, and assistant message roles, foundational to building any multi-turn AI application. Advanced techniques, few-shot prompting, meta-prompting, and multi-modal prompting. SAP's Prompt Optimizer and Prompt Registry, and the SAP Cloud SDK for AI plus how to approach model selection. Before you can run a single LLM call on SAP, there are specific provisioning steps that need to happen. Access to SAP's Generative AI Hub requires 2 provisioned services and a running orchestration deployment. Here's the full sequence. Step 1. Set up your BTP Global account with the necessary entitlements for SAP AI Core and SAP AI Launchpad. Step 2. Provision SAP AI Core in the Extended Edition. This is a critical point. The Standard Edition of AI Core does not include Generative AI Hub capabilities. You need Extended. Step 3. Provision SAP AI Launchpad in the Standard Edition and connect it to your AI Core instance to create a working connection. Step 4. Assign roles. There are 4 role collections that control GenAI Hub access. GenAI Manager for full management access. Prompt Manager to manage and edit prompts. GenAI Experimenter to explore and test models. And Prompt Experimenter to create and test prompts. Step 5, and this is the one people often miss. Deploy an orchestration service instance. This is the execution runtime for all GenAI Hub operations. Without a running orchestration deployment, no LLM calls can be made. Think of it as starting the engine. Until it's running, no prompts execute, no RAG pipelines activate, and no policy enforcement happens. It runs as a Kubernetes workload on SAP AI Core and is typically available in your default resource group. Once these steps are complete, you can access the GenAI Hub through SAP AI Launchpad, through API clients like Postman, or programmatically via the SAP Cloud SDK for AI in Python or JavaScript. Now, the skill that multiplies the value of everything else. Prompt engineering is the practice of designing and refining the inputs you give an LLM to consistently produce accurate, relevant, and useful outputs. Think of it as programming in natural language. Carefully constructed instructions replace code to guide model behavior. 3 elements make an effective enterprise prompt. Number 1. Define the task clearly. State exactly what the model should do. Summarize, classify, extract, translate, generate code, answer a question. Vague tasks produce vague results. Specificity is the single most important prompt engineering skill. Number 2. Add context. Provide the background the model needs to give a relevant response. This includes business data, prior conversation, role context. For example, you are an SAP finance assistant and any constraints the model should know about. Number 3, set constraints on the output. Specify format, JSON, bullet list, table. Length, 1 paragraph, maximum 200 words. Tone, formal, conversational, and any content restrictions. Output constraints are what make responses immediately usable in downstream systems without additional processing. These three elements together transform a vague request into a reliable, consistent AI interaction. Modern LLM APIs, including SAP's Generative AI Hub, organize prompts using three distinct roles. This structure is foundational to building any multi-turn AI application. The system role sets the identity, behavior, and boundaries of the AI. It answers, who are you? How should you behave? What rules must you follow? The system prompt carries the highest authority in the conversation. An example, you are an SAP procurement assistant. Provide concise answers using SAP procurement terminology. Never speculate about data you cannot verify. The user role contains the actual request from the user, dynamic content, variable inputs, live data, user-provided context goes here. It answers, what does the user want right now? The assistant role represents prior AI responses in a multi-turn conversation. Including previous assistant turns helps the model maintain context across a longer interaction, important for conversational applications where the user asks follow-up questions. Without this, the model has no memory of what it said 2 turns ago. Understanding how to structure these three roles is what separates a working enterprise AI application from a prototype that falls apart under real usage. 3 techniques that deliver the most value in enterprise contexts. Few-shot prompting. Instead of describing what you want in abstract terms, you show it. Provide a small number of examples, input to output, before asking the model to complete a new, similar task. This technique is particularly effective for classification tasks, structured data extraction, and outputs that need to follow a specific format. The structure is simple: instruction, then 2 or 3 example pairs, then the new input for the model to complete. Meta-prompting is an advanced technique where you define not just what the model should do, but how it should think, reason, and validate its outputs. You specify how to analyze the task, how to structure reasoning, how to validate the output, and how to self-check results before responding. This produces more consistent, higher quality responses for complex tasks like compliance checking, multi-criteria evaluation, or structured report generation. Multi-modal prompting combines text with images or other data types to improve AI accuracy for problems with visual context. Many real-world business problems come with visual elements: a damaged component, a scanned form, a chart from a presentation that text alone can't adequately describe. Including an image alongside a text prompt gives the model visual context that improves accuracy and relevance, particularly for classification, diagnosis, and document processing use cases. SAP has built 2 tools that solve the 2 biggest operational challenges in enterprise prompt management. The Prompt Optimizer, developed in collaboration with Not Diamond, solves the model migration problem. Switching AI models is expensive. Prompts optimized for one LLM often perform poorly on a different model. Previously, updating your underlying model required days of manual rework for each use case. The Prompt Optimizer automates this. When you select a new LLM in SAP's Generative AI Hub, it automatically converts all existing prompts into optimized versions for the new model using public performance benchmarks. Switching models is no longer a project, it's a configuration change. The Prompt Registry solves the prompt governance problem. In enterprise AI, prompts are not just instructions typed into a chat box. They are configuration logic that drives business outputs, classifying supplier risk, generating contract language, summarizing financial reports. They need to be versioned, governed, and managed with the same rigor as application code. The Prompt Registry is an enterprise feature in AI Launchpad that provides centralized storage, version control, governance policies, and CI/CD integration for prompts. Think of it as Git plus a policy layer for your prompt library. It has two interfaces: the imperative API used during development for active prompt engineering, full create, read, update, and delete capabilities, tracks all changes and retains version history for audit and debugging. Use this when you're still iterating. The declarative API used for production deployment via CI/CD pipelines. Prompts are defined as YAML files stored in a Git repository. SAP AI Core watches the repo and synchronizes changes into the prompt registry automatically. This makes prompt management identical to application code deployment with pull requests, code reviews, and automated deployment. Prompt templates use placeholders, written as double curly braces with a question mark and the variable name, to create reusable prompt structures that accept dynamic data at runtime. Define the template once, inject the relevant data when the prompt is called. The SAP Cloud SDK for AI wraps the AI Core and Orchestration Service APIs in language-specific functions for Python and JavaScript, so you can focus on business logic rather than API authentication and request formatting. Key capabilities: prompt registry access, grounding and content filtering configuration, structured JSON output with schema validation, orchestration workflow execution, and prompt evaluation, automated tests across prompt variants with quality metrics to identify the best performing version before production deployment. On model selection, the Generative AI Hub provides access to multiple LLMs, and choosing the right one for your use case has meaningful implications for quality, cost, and performance. Task suitability matters more than reputation. One model may outperform others on summarization, another on code generation, another on multilingual tasks. Test on your specific use case, not on general benchmarks alone. Performance versus cost. A cheaper model that achieves 95% of the quality of a premium model on your specific task is usually the right choice for production. The model library's cost indicators make this comparison transparent, and scalability and redundancy. Production deployments should have alternative models available. If a primary model experiences latency issues or a behavior shift following an update, a fallback option reduces operational risk. The practical process: use the model library to explore available models, run the same representative prompt against multiple candidates, compare outputs and cost, then select based on actual performance on your specific use case. Key takeaways to close the series. GenAI Hub requires SAP AI Core Extended, SAP AI Launchpad Standard, and critically an orchestration service deployment before any LLM calls can execute. Effective prompts define the task, add context, and set output constraints. Vague prompts produce vague results. System, user, and assistant roles structure conversations and give the model the context it needs to respond consistently across turns. Few-shot, meta, and multi-modal prompting are the three techniques that deliver the most value in enterprise contexts. The Prompt Registry treats prompts like code, versioned, governed, and deployed via CI/CD pipelines. And model selection should be based on actual performance on your use case, not general benchmarks. Use the model library to compare. That completes the SAP Business AI series from Aditheos. We've taken you from the fundamentals of what AI is, through the technology that powers it, SAP's strategic approach, Joule, agentic AI, all 6 business functions, the AI foundation on BTP, responsible AI governance, and now hands-on building. The next step is experimentation. Set up your GenAI Hub access, run your first prompt through the chat interface, and explore the model library to compare how different LLMs handle your specific business questions. The best way to build intuition for enterprise AI is to use it. If you found this series useful, subscribe to Aditheos on YouTube and visit aditheos.com for more SAP and AI content. Thank you for watching.